The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
Hey, I'm Charles from the Texas Craft Brewers Guild, and you're watching InterBrews.
This is InterBrews.
That camera. Boom. Hey, everybody. Welcome to InterBrews. My name is Josh. We are in studio for this episode. And joining me today, all the way from down the street, is Charles. Charles I always try to say it right. You got a lot of syllables in there.
Yeah, Vallhonrat.
Vallhonrat.
Yeah.
I always want to, roll something.
Yes. Yeah, it is actually Spanish, but we don't say it right. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we're saying it right now. And I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we're of course this is our new approach to InterBrews. We've merged InterBrews Liquid Lunch back together. It's all one big happy family again. Not that it ever wasn't, but anyway, we're doing some shows in the studio or whatever. But thanks for fitting me in. Busy holiday schedule.
Happy to make it out.
Yeah.
Like I said, down the street. So.
Yeah. So Texas Craft Brewers Guild, you are the executive director.
Correct.
Not just a director, not just an executive. Executive director.
Yes.
So the grand poobah.
Well, it means me and the staff do the administrative stuff, and the board gets the real say.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it for a little while now.
Yep. Coming up on, it'll be 10 years this summer. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Good round number.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get to more of what round numbers here in just a little bit.
Sounds good.
But the main reason is to catch up. I've missed you. It's been a little while. It's
been a while.
A couple
Yeah.
years over at Murdoch's.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
3 years. I don't know how long it's
Been a little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah. But now cozy in studio. Big Christmas plans?
No, just trying to get, family back together for first time in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be a good holiday season, I think, for all of that. I mean, finally things are, they're trying to
Yeah.
get back to normal. Trying to.
Sorry about that.
No.
Turn that off.
No worries. If there's who knows when something crazy happens. In the craft beer
emergency
world.
in the beer world, right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's happened before.
Yes, yeah, there is. I mean, it's like I don't know, with COVID and stuff, right? Like things start shutting down.
Legislation or
Yeah.
TABC announcements, you never know what pops up.
Yeah, meteors, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so here we are towards the end of 2021. Mm-hmm. Let's take a look back on the year.
Okay.
In the year in Texas craft beer. Obviously, COVID's the big deal, right? Coming out of that, people adjusting. It's been remarkable to watch the recovery and the adjustment and how people have shifted and everything like that.
Right.
What to you has been the most standout part of 2021? Put you on the spot.
I think the resiliency of the breweries and being flexible through 2020 and into 2021 of being flexible and adjusting their business models and making whatever they need to make work, to keep business going. There's been a lot of changes in ways some breweries do promotion, how they approach their audience. Some have, adopted new distribution or packaging strategies that they hadn't before, and a lot have focused more on tap room. And the tap room is really proving to be a critical thing for us. Unfortunately, we're not out of this. The supply chain issue, obviously, there's ongoing health concerns, but the supply chain issues really do take a toll and keep people guessing. We're just seeing interesting challenges in the craft beer world, specifically around cans right now. Which
Ball
is
with their big announcement.
That's a big announcement. It's going to hurt. There are some breweries that they get their supplies from other intermediaries. Some people get directly from Ball, typically a little bit larger, and they're going to feel an impact. So.
Yeah. Some of cans. When cans first became a thing, right? It was first it was Oscar Blues, and then here in Texas, Southern Star, right?
Yep.
First can craft in Texas, but now it's everybody.
It's the standard.
Cans.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that just bought. Is there anybody that just bottles? I don't know if there is anybody.
No one comes to mind. Even some of the larger people that said they would never do it, or the boutique people that it didn't seem like the right thing for them, they are finding a way to make it work.
Well, it got affordable with the wrapped cans and all that kind of thing. Made
yes.
it. You didn't have to buy like printed cans.
Exactly.
You could get those wrapped cans, so just the blank cans. But now this stuff from Ball. I mean, not every. I guess there's other can manufacturers. There
are 2 other large canning manufacturers, is my understanding. And then there's some international manufacturers, but they're one of the primary suppliers, and people are going to watch it closely. I know that the Brewers Association on a national level is keeping a very close eye on this.
Yeah.
But there are people that buy supply from Ball and other distributors, or other manufacturers, I should say, who then, like American Canning out of Austin, right? They do a lot of, they supply cans, they wrap cans, they do stuff. So a lot of people are going to need to switch to those suppliers, which are going to be limited in their ability, but we'll see some changing.
Do you, like in your role as executive director, you like go and just talk to brewery owners about this kind of stuff, or just, I mean, obviously you've built friendships and things like that.
Well, we hear about it, and the breweries will reach out to us to see if we have any ideas, or we have a forum online for the brewers to talk to each other and exchange ideas or get feedback.
Yeah.
And then also the guild staff, we meet weekly with the Brewers Association and all the other guilds across the country.
Oh, cool.
And we exchange feedback and hear, what other states are hearing. What's interesting to me is, for us, we know of a few brewers that are definitely going to be impacted by this. But it depends on, once again, it's a size issue, and it's funny that we heard it in other states about the impact earlier than we heard it in Texas, which is surprising to me. We do definitely have some larger breweries that are impacted by it, but it also means we have a lot of smaller taproom focused breweries that are going to be on the secondary or tertiary market anyway. So
yeah, it's so. Obviously, there's the Texas Craft Brewers Guild. Is it just there's a 50 total guilds? Or are there any states that have like dual guilds? Like California's pretty big and has a ton of breweries.
California. Think of a couple of them. California is a big standout, and actually North Carolina, believe it or not, is a standout. Great people, great organization. Where in California they have a California Guild or Brewers Association that is focused on the industry and legislative activity, but what you see is smaller regions like the Bay Area or San Diego, Los Angeles have smaller city or regional guilds that primarily focus on promotion and then also legislative or government affairs, not necessarily legislative, but government affairs activity. So I think of Los Angeles and the great director there, Franny. That's really a promotional guild, but during the last 2 years, she has been focused on working very closely with city council. On keeping things open. A lot of other states have, a few other states have some specific regional guilds that, once again, though, they tend to be promotionally focused. We have been lucky and happy to be a single guild and try to do promotion throughout the whole state. Now that's, there are still regional activities. There's regional craft beer weeks. There are regional ale trails and stuff, and we're happy to support and help those organizations and groups whenever we can.
Well, I want to pick your brain on that. I was contemplating this. On Twitter, I follow people from all over the state, and I've got lists. Like here's some Austin area, Hill Country area, Dallas area, Houston. And you start to see there's personalities to these different areas. Like,
there are.
Big time.
Yes.
Like, obviously, we're Houston. We love Houston. Houston's the best, no matter what. I mean, it's like, whatever. It does. I don't know that you could convince me that it wasn't. I mean, but there's great breweries in the other areas. What do you think, like, personality-wise, what are the biggest challenges for, like, the different areas? Is it Houston seems very laid back.
Yes.
Me. Dallas?
We do we're unique across the country in that we host something called Brewers Nights in we're up to 6 or 7 regions of this across the state. with a number of them having monthly meetings and some of them having quarterly meetings, but like Central Texas, San Antonio, Houston, North Texas all have monthly Brewers Nights meeting where we go to a different brewery, and it's a chance for the brewers to network. We have our allied trade members there, and it's just a team building, a spirit building type of activity.
Yeah.
Get a few
I see
beers
the
and
pictures.
talk.
Yeah. It looks fun.
And but that really connects us to all the regions, and we get a feel for the different personalities, and there are definitely different personalities for all the regions, and to us it comes across the most in Brewers Nights. In Houston, it's very laid back. We're coming up on the December meeting, and we're gonna have a bottle share, right? So that we only do it once a year in December, but it's a good fun event. North Texas has, prior to COVID, they were a little bit more focused on making sure there was an educational piece with each Brewers Night. If they could get in a speaker to come talk, 20, 30 minutes, they would do that. If you tell the people in Central Texas there's a speaker tonight, they're like, "Oh, I don't want a speaker. I want to have a beer and talk to my friend about the brewing process."
Right.
And definitely different approaches, different attitudes at each one, and it also depends on where the region is in the kind of life cycle curve of the industry. Central Texas has the largest concentration of breweries, and they were the kind of further down the life cycle process, and then quicker than Houston, quicker than Dallas, where we have a really good mix of owners and brewers. In Central Texas, it's shifted more. There's more brewery employees who are going to these, and it's really important that they have the networking opportunity. Yeah. So the personalities differ based on where they are in the cycle, and they're all fun. Yeah, it's bottom line.
Yeah, it's interesting because Central Texas, Austin, Hill Country, they're geographically they're closer, right? So you can get from one brewery to the next. Yeah. A lot quicker. Like Houston, we have kind of pockets around the Houston area. Right. Like for me, just to get out of this neighborhood, it takes 30 minutes.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
It's everywhere. It's 30 minutes, 45. To get from Houston to Houston is an hour and a half. Yeah. So it's cool. Like I like it because I feel like I'm going, like when I go to like Pearland or down to Galveston or wherever, it's like
it's a journey.
It's a journey, but then it's also like, all right, well, I'm gonna go see 4 or 5 of my friends at these different breweries or whatever. So it's kind of it's like almost like its own. It's like its own little hill country without the hills. Right. It's like its own country.
We definitely have our sections, and so we look at that at Brewers Nights. Like, okay, we're gonna have a few Central Houston ones. We're gonna have a few Conroe area ones. Yeah. We're gonna be down south, or
Are there
trying to mix it up.
Are there any rivalries?
No.
Like groups, like Pearland looks at Kingland, like we want to be the land of the.
No, really, no. And people want to get out to go visit their friends in these other areas that they don't. The Brewers Nights give them an opportunity to have an excuse to get down there, right, or get up there wherever they're coming from, right. And so people want to go explore.
Yeah. I mean, more like friendly rivalries. There needs. That's what I feel like we need. We need a little. We kind of had it with Brash and St. Arnold a little bit, friendly. Yeah. Friendly heat.
Yeah. No, there's people that like to have fun and tease each other, but no, it's funny, like John Holler and from Holler Brewing and Casey Moat from Eureka Heights. They did a joint presentation for one of our during COVID, one of our virtual education events, and it was fun. They were just teasing each other the whole time, and like John would say, Casey, if you were a good brewer, you would know.
Yeah, we John and Casey both have been on the show a lot, like just recently, actually. Good. But John actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose. I don't think I'm supposed to disclose. Just look, I ask him about crypto anytime if you're curious. Yeah. I
follow John on social media, and I know I've seen his write-ups. Yes.
Do you know anything about crypto? Can we delve into this at all? I don't know anything about it.
I have a high-tech background, and I understand the technology, but it's just not something I delve into.
No, you don't get tips like a good coin to go after,
or what GPU to buy to do the right mining and floating point. No.
All right. Nothing going to the moon from this episode?
No.
Okay,
no.
good. That's fine. We'll just talk beer.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, well, we're in the Christmas season.
Yep.
And we got Christmas beers out there. Do you have a favorite Christmas beer? Or
You
one
know,
that you look forward to towards the end of the year or whatever through this time?
I have trouble picking favorites. You know,
Yeah.
A, it's not good for my job. But B, I just, I'd like to try something different all the time, like the consumers. So, yeah, it's really hard to pick a favorite. But I have to, I'll say one thing that's not Texas-based, but I have to buy Celebration Ale every year. That's my thing.
Yes. I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
it
love
should
beer,
be. It
that
should be.
IPA, it's just, it's so good.
Yeah.
I got some in the fridge in there.
Good.
It's fantastic. And then I always do for New Year's Eve, I always do Saison DuPont.
Oh,
Just 'cause-
that's a good, yeah.
Yeah. They're starting to can it now.
Oh, really? I haven't
Which
seen that.
I don't want to, that takes away from it. I want the big bottle with the cork
Right,
in the case.
right,
And that's my New Year's Eve. A couple
Yeah.
bottles of Saison DuPont. And
Sounds like a good time.
yeah. Either way, it's going to be a happy New Year.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Craft Brewers Cup.
Okay.
All right. So the details are, well, the news just dropped, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Registration window is open now
It is. Yep.
from mid-November to the 17th.
17th,
of
yeah.
December.
Yep.
And then the drop-off will be January.
Early January. Give people time to make sure they get everything collected, get the beers out there. We've got to do a lot of planning on our end once we finalize the registration window. We also have people applying right now to volunteer and or judge.
Okay.
So that period of time between closing registration and actually collecting the beer and judging the beer will give us time to plan and organize all those volunteers, make sure we have the right level of coverage we need. But yeah, it's open right now, and we're excited. It's actually been in the works for several years. COVID put a halt to part of it, but within the last year, we've been really hard at it, planning it, talking to a lot of other competitions around the country. GABF folks have been very generous with their time, and then other states that run their own competitions have been very generous with their time and their planning process, and it's been great.
It makes a lot of sense. GABF has gotten so big.
Yes.
And it's fun, and it's
Yes.
cool, and it's neat to see, like, Texas breweries, like, what do we have, 5 gold medals or 4 gold? We had a handful of gold, I have in front of me.
Yeah.
But every year, success, right? There's
exactly.
gold medals, a lot of medals all the way around.
Yep.
That's cool, but it's like, I don't know, like when you bring it, like a lot of the beers that win at GABF, I'm never going to get the chance to try.
Right.
Because it's
Right.
just, there's not enough time and liver and,
And distance, they may not be available here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a great thing. Like, okay, if I'm going to this place, here's some, beers to note, right?
Right.
Because all around the country, there's great
Yeah.
bears, right? We live in the best time for beer drinkers ever. It's
Exactly.
amazing. But in Texas, we have so many good beers, so many good breweries, and all the styles. It's not like we're just we have a regional kind of style that we
Right.
hit on. We make excellent styles across
Across the board.
the board. So I think this is great. It would be kind of cool to see like the GABF to like it get tiered maybe. Like how do you do in your state or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching too much college football maybe, but
The American Homebrew Association, they're, and it's been a long time since I participated, but, my recollection is that they have regional, they have competitions that are, regional and kind of, it's a similar system, right? You kind of move up into the nationals.
yeah.
That'd be interesting for GABF. That's a lot to take on,
Yeah.
but that
Maybe-
would be very interesting.
Probably too much. But is there so for this one, is it like as far as the styles, are we going just GABF styles?
Yeah, we took a lot of time working on the style guidelines. A lot of time working on the style guidelines. And what we decided to do, we talked to some competitions that take exactly the BJCP style guidelines and kind of typically consolidate them. We talked to a competition that defines everything else on their own, and we kind of took a middle road. What we did was we defined our own categories at a high level, but within each category it's primarily made up of a combination of sub-styles from both BJCP and JBF.
Okay.
Excuse me, just gotta.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. From both of those, so that we had the broadest, cross section of styles that people could match what they need to match for their beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to put a little bit of a burden on our judges, but most judges are up to it. They understand how to read through a JBF or BJCP style guideline and understand those parameters. So we're pretty broad within the subcategories within our overall larger categories.
Yeah.
We did find that we needed to define a couple of things from scratch. And so, like, we have a decadent beer category, and it's a really broad term, but there's not a great place for the pastry stouts and the milkshake IPAs of the world, right? And so we kind of created this overarching category that this is where people can go wild and just have some really interesting beers entered there.
Does that include like fruit smoothies?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So now, I mean, you could enter a fruit smoothie in the regular fruit beer categories, but you're probably going to be better off in something that gives you a little bit more latitude.
The body on this one is off.
Yeah.
It's like it's a smoothie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wild category.
Yeah.
Not as wild as maybe like the wild fermented. Is
Yes.
that a category as well?
It is. We actually have a couple of sour, wild, mixed fermentation, kind of categories. Yeah.
Is there a Texas, like only in Texas category?
There's not. No. We talked about that, and we did talk to a competition that has done something like that, tried to do something unique for their state.
Uh-huh.
We want to get this off the ground.
Yeah.
We have room to grow.
Sure.
And that's something that can certainly be discussed and added later, but I'm not sure what it would be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't know. Like, there's the Texas Brown, but I don't even know if is that like a Texas style? It has the name Texas in it, but I don't know.
Texas Brown really came from the homebrewer competitions because a lot of people from Rangers and Dixie Cup just they like brown ale, but they like hops, right? So they just did what they wanted. I don't know that you find that as widely commercially anymore. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the Texas a Texas style would be.
What we expect, and I don't want to talk about entry levels and stuff, right? But Texas is big with lagers and big with pilsners, so we want to make sure we had things that represented some of the styles that we expect. What we have to do is guess, what kind of numbers you're going to get in each of these categories, and that the math with that and figuring out how to split up flights and stuff, that spreadsheets and debates were pretty intense.
Yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe like just a highlight. So I don't know who, like, if this would be the cup would be the place to do it, but a highlight. There's been a few beers made with all Texas ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a new thing, right? Getting hops to grow here and like having yeast labs and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. They're very expensive beers.
Yeah. And, we're not quite there yet, but that'd be great. That'd be a great category to aspire to down the road. And we certainly, because we work with these suppliers, we definitely have couple of all Texas malt houses, yeast developers, or companies. Hops, we've had some start and stops there. Hopefully that picks up a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's it'd be fantastic to have an all Texas ingredient category.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like how when St. Arnold did the movable yeast series, they took their core beers and just changed the yeast out. I wonder if you could do that with like water around Texas, like the Hill Country water would probably be really good.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Houston, like the Bayou water.
Most people strip it out anyway and go back to do RO.
And then like the West Texas no water beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a thought. Sorry, I just get up in my head about that kind of stuff.
No problem.
Yeah. So the judging, where are you finding enough judges?
We are trying to emphasize judges in the industry as much as we can.
Okay.
And looking for people with some certification and or experience with something like a GABF or a World Beer Cup.
Right.
But we certainly also want to, one of the goals is not just create a competition, recognize Texas beer, but build up our members in our industry to be able to do competitions and judge. And so we want to build up the pool. So we're focused on getting a lot of brewers to sign up and match experienced judging brewer. You can have a brewer that's a very experienced brewer, but has not judged, but has an incredible palate, maybe involved in the QA stuff with their brewery and, absolutely knows what they're doing, but they've just never judged. So we want to match people with some experience, with people that are new to the process. But we also, we're going to be looking for BJCP judges too, because, they've been through the training. They know what their beer styles are. Also, there are going to be categories that may be hard to be judged by all professional brewers because it's maybe a category that's highly concentrated. The larger categories with a lot of beers from different breweries, we're going to have to really rely on our BJCP guys to just get our numbers of judges to cover those categories.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm anxious to see how it all works out.
Yes.
Because this is like, when I think about talking to all the breweries across Texas that we've done on Liquid Lunch and through InterBrews, it's been there's a lot of great people, but a lot of great beers, and it's just like you just start thinking like, oh, how does this beer stack up against this one, or all of that. So I'm glad you guys are doing this. Thanks. I saw that and I was like, yes. Thanks.
There was we've been discussing it, the idea, since I joined the guild almost 10 years ago. This felt like the right time to do it, that the market, the industry had, when I joined the guild and there were 40 breweries and membership, right? Competition didn't really make sense. You had a small group of people that didn't need to be competing with each other. They need to be building up the industry. We still need to be building up the industry, but this is another, now that we have such a wide selection of breweries across so many regions, this is a great way to build it up now.
What number are we at now in Texas?
From a TABC license standpoint, it's over 350.
Really?
Yeah. Now that varies from manufacturing breweries that are large, thousands of barrels a year, to someone that's
single barrel.
Yeah, it was less in some instances. Half barrel system at a restaurant that somebody was playing with and felt they could afford the brew pub license, right?
Yeah.
They already had the BG license. Why not add this on? Right?
Yeah, why not?
It varies widely. But it's always hard to kind of focus on who is really brewing and takes pride in that. And I think this will give us an opportunity to go across segments of the market, right, with some really dedicated small breweries, some really inventive large breweries, and get some interesting beers out there.
To me, I'm curious to see how it shakes out geographically as far as like if there's like a certain area that has a style.
Right.
Like Houston has, you brought up John Hall and Casey, like their ESBs are both really, really good. Right. I'm kind of curious, like, I don't know, I was like, are we the ESB capital of Texas, or maybe the United States?
We'll find out.
Maybe. Like I don't see anybody clamoring to be the ESB capital.
Right.
Maybe that's a territory we could just jump on. I love ESBs. I mean, what's your favorite? What's your wheelhouse as far as styles? I know you said you try everything, but do you have something like your fallback?
I've always been a hoppy beer fan. I've always been an IPA fan. But I don't know, in the last few years, really found myself gravitating to lower gravity wheat and or Belgian influenced beers.
Okay.
Just something refreshing, something easy to drink. But once again, I'm also going to go get the double IPA that someone's just released and enjoy the hops.
I've found that the lower ABV stuff, milds and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, that's 3.5%, 4%. All right, I'm going to do that today.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times when I'm like, I'm going all out, double IPAs and Russian Imperial Stouts and all that kind of stuff, or anything in between. But yeah, I do kind of. I love the fact that we got more Pilsners, and
we have a lot of Pilsners. It's great.
Yeah, it is great. There used to be like 4, and they were great. And they're still great, like Live Oak Pils,
right?
or Hans Pils, or what, you know, they're fantastic beers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Summer Pils. Who am I missing? There's, I don't know. There's like those classic Pilsners were they were great, even though Summer Pils is a Helles, right? Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
So the award ceremony, swing it back around.
Sure.
That one's going to be on February 12th.
12th, yes.
And that's in Austin.
Yes.
Is that open to?
It is. There will be a limited amount of tickets available to the. So we have our annual meeting. So the guild gets together every February. We talk about the industry. We talk about guild business. We bring in guest speakers, and we have a happy hour the night before, of course.
Cool.
So this year, and we have a trade shows for our allied trade members. Let the brewers get to, find solutions that they need, be it equipment, ingredients, insurance, whatever the case may be, right? Typically it would end around 5 o'clock. People would go home. We'd always have it we were typically doing it on Sunday. We've moved it this year, so the happy hour is going to be on Friday. The main conference will be on Saturday, and then we're going to wrap it up with the award ceremony. So a new twist, moving the day, having a celebration on Saturday night of Texas beer. Everyone attending the conference will be, automatically have a ticket for the award ceremony, and there will be some tickets available for people that are not attending the annual meeting. Because certainly we're encouraging, not every brewery finds a fit within the guild, right? Not everybody is wants to be part of a group, but maybe they'll compete, and we are definitely open to people that fit our definition of craft brewery, but maybe not be a member. Send your beer in, right?
Yeah.
Compete. As long as you're made in Texas and you're a craft brewery, we want your beer in the competition.
So you don't have to be a guild member.
No, do not have to be a guild member.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's a small advantage on a price point if you're a guild member.
Right, of course.
And maybe you may join the guild. That's all,
all
good.
See,
whatever works. But yeah, no, we want everybody's beer. And we want anybody, brewing beer in Texas that's a craft brewery, small independent brewery, send their beer, and let's talk about all the beer in the state.
So far I'm guessing entries have already been made.
Entries are coming in. Yep.
Have you seen a trend so far as like styles? Is it kind of GAB or more IPA dominant?
We've had a lot of discussions about this, about what I can and can't say.
Okay.
Because we want to be careful about how we influence people entering the categories.
Okay, gotcha.
So the one statement I'm making, and I actually made it in we do a monthly newsletter, and I made it in our monthly newsletter yesterday, that we are not following the JBF distribution trend.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Maybe after we stop recording, I pick your brain.
See if there's any insight. People come bug Josh. What category should I enter?
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, no. For a price. No.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I would never.
Closely guarded secret.
Yeah, trade secrets. We can't. Anyway, that's fun though. I mean, I'm looking forward to it a lot. Any plans on like streaming? Like GABF kind of streams their stuff. Streaming's gotten a lot more doable.
Yeah. It's something under investigation, something we're looking into. We want to make sure we have, first year, right? We want to make sure we have critical mass and we're doing everything right.
Yes.
But that's something in general that, video content, posting previous conferences, presentations on the website. We're trying to expand that wherever we can. So we're considering options, but our primary goal is to make sure the event itself meets the expectations of our attendees.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. And with that, we have beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to have the beer. Wouldn't that be a sad thing? Like we forgot. I thought you were bringing it. No, I thought you were bringing it. Everybody's. It's like all those Spider-Men pointing at each other. Yeah. You were supposed to bring it.
Yeah. The good news is, when you do a competition, you have a lot of extra beer.
Yes.
And that's going to be really positive for our volunteers.
Yes. I've been to a few competitions, and yes, there's a bunch of beer. You have to pace yourself. If you're judging, obviously you know this going into it. I took Bev's class, and you have to go into it with like like an athlete's mindset.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
I'm not going to exert myself early on. We got to pace ourselves. This is a marathon event. It's not a sprint. Make sure I got my crackers and my water and dump bucket or whatever I need.
Yep.
Got to go into it with the mindset of a professional.
Exactly. Yes.
But if you're just like bringing people glasses and bringing the cracker, like you're the cracker person or whatever, cracker wrangler. I don't know what the jockey. I don't know what the name is. No, what are they called? They're called.
We have stewards.
Stewards. That's it.
Yeah, and then we'll have cellar people, cellar folks.
I should have known that.
Yeah.
Stewards.
No.
Close to.
Yeah, kind of close.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh well. Maybe I should have paid more attention to Bev's class. They were serving beer there too.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's 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 a great opportunity for people. Like if you've been taking something like Bev's class or something like that, here's an opportunity close to home to use that.
Yep.
And I bet you this sparks more.
I hope,
because there's another. Well, you had the festival, right? In your main festival in September, or
we've moved it to October.
October.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was supposed to move before COVID, and then COVID happened, and but we did have it this year in October, which it ends up that's great. That works out schedule wise really well for people. And just to make it consistent, we brought the September temperatures into October. That was great. One day we're going to have a cold festival.
Yeah, one day, it's going to hit and it's going to be perfect.
Yeah,
but it's just changing it into October though. You have your odds of having a cool.
Yes, we've definitely upped our chances. Yes.
Yeah. Whether it happens or not, well, we'll see. But it's fine. It's a fun festival, though.
Thanks.
It's a great one. Like it's compact. Everything's right there. It's shaded. It's nice. You're gonna sweat, but it's Texas.
Yeah, the city took down the part of the fence to that park, which at first gave us a lot of concern, but it allowed us to put up our own fence line, and we expanded the footprint. 30-40% in physical space. Okay. Maybe 30% in physical space. But it let us lay things out a little bit differently, and we thought it was really nice this year. People had a little elbow room.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice to be able just to. I mean, you want to get around all the booths as much as you possibly can, just to say hi at least. But to have a little bit of sit there and enjoy the beer that you got.
Yeah.
That's cool. But there's the one in it's in Austin, right? The East West. The
ones coming up.
Yes.
With Craft Beer Austin, I think. I actually know who's. I know some of the organizers.
Okay.
I'm not sure who.
Is that not a Caroline thing?
Is not a Caroline thing.
Okay, never mind. Forget I even said it. I don't know.
All good.
Never mind. Or go. I mean, have fun.
Yeah. No, good festival. It'll be great.
I'm just excited that festivals are back.
Yeah.
We had the one in Katy, the one up in Dallas.
Yep.
The big festival. So this is it's
coming back.
It's back.
Yeah.
And that's what we needed. Not only do we need beer, we need to drink beer with friends.
Yes.
And meet new friends.
Exactly.
And those are great places to do that. Mm-hmm. Because everybody's there for the same reason.
Yeah.
And beer is just the catalyst.
Yeah.
Make some friends.
And each of those, the ones you mentioned, all have great different personalities, different experiences.
Yeah. So, I mean, find one you want near where you are. I'm sure there'll be more.
Look, if you don't mind me saying that, we get calls on a pretty regular basis, emails mainly, really, more than calls, of small regional areas looking to run a festival, and they want to know how to run a festival. I always take time to answer those calls and schedule a 30 minute to an hour call with someone in a region and walk them through what we've learned in our years of running a festival, so that we can encourage people to get these festivals running in smaller regional area markets.
What would you say is the key to a successful festival?
Well, first is understanding what you're getting into and understanding that the beer laws are not the same thing as the wine laws. Right. That is the absolute very first thing. Know how you can structure it. Because there's some interesting limitations with the TABC code with, who buys the beer and who can serve the beer and so forth. Yeah. Know that stuff, right? Yeah. Learn that stuff. After that, understand the size of what you're doing, and we're lucky we have great connection to breweries. Our festival is a good mix of self-distributed breweries and breweries that work through distributors. About half of our beer, a little under half our beer, comes from distributors. The rest comes from self-distributed breweries. understand that process too, right?
Yeah.
If you're a small regional thing, maybe it's primarily with your local distributors. If you can get a good connection with local breweries that have representation in your area, right? If you can't ask a really small brewery in Houston to come send a person to a small city in very far West Texas,
Right.
that it may not be the right market for them, right? But understand what your availability is and who you're going to approach early on.
Yeah. I was going to say what you just said, and porta potties.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
or-
Yes. Yeah. One of the things we're very focused on is continuity in appearance and signage. You can go to a festival and you can see all the great individual tents from the breweries, and that's fantastic. But you can't necessarily always see what beer they have until you get up at the table.
Right.
Right. We want to make sure the lines move quickly and that people have made the decision, hopefully, before they get to the table.
Okay.
So they can order their beer and maybe step off to the side and have a conversation with a brewery rep off to the side outside the line.
Yeah.
Keep that line moving.
I'm that guy. I'm like getting my beer and then wanting to talk
Yes.
10 more minutes.
Yes. And that's
Wow.
great. We want you to do that. We
Yeah.
just don't want you to do that at the front of the line when there's 20 deep trying to get the next
I
beer.
apologize.
No,
that's me. I'm like, listen, this is awesome. And then go on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sorry,
No,
everybody.
we want that conversation. Just, have it off to the side, have it in front, or
So what do y'all put a big sign of what this?
every brewery has a large coroplast, this large sign up front that says what their beer is, and you can see it from 50 feet away or further. You
the
can
main
read that.
path. The main path walking through.
Yeah.
at least.
You can see as you're approaching that. There's no reason not to know what beer they have by the time you get up to that booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of knowing what each style is.
Yeah. Well, and it will say the name and the style of the beer. Shortened, but it may not have all the details.
I was gonna say if you're at a brewery like a craft beer fest,
Yeah.
you're about 30 inches away from somebody who will tell you everything you've ever wanted to know
Exactly. Yeah.
about any of those beers.
Yes. You're not going to have a shortage of well-informed people.
Yeah. Well, actually, that beer, they'll give you the entire history, and that
Yes.
would be me. I'm like, sorry,
Yes.
you can have your ear back now.
Yes.
But anyway, well, cool. So 2021, we're wrapping up. We're gonna kick off 22 with the cup.
Mm-hmm.
And what else are we thinking for 2022?
We're going to get ready for the legislative session for 2023,
Yeah,
right?
all
So
right.
we spent a lot of 22 on that. And kind of just, re-looking at our events and our connection with our brewers and growing those events. We have an event called the Education and Safety Summit, which is an educational event for brewers where we bring in technical brewing topics. We bring in business topics. We have a couple of tracks of presentations. That's been going on for 6 or 7 years. And we've also, the last few years, had something we call the Brewing Planning Summit in December. We're going to be combining those this year, rebranding it. We don't have that worked out yet, but it's going to be a bigger event. We want to encourage people that are joining the industry and want to learn what to do to open a brewery to come out to this event, as well as our veteran breweries who are coming out and learning, what's the latest trend on this hop or this process of beer, or what are the, and those trends aren't just all brewery related. What's going on in the tap room, what's going on in just the overall well-being of the industry and the employees in the industry, right? How do we take care of each other?
Yeah.
That's been a very important topic for, a while, and getting more and more attention, and we applaud that in a big way. So anything we can do there to just make sure that, we're taking care of each other and we can grow in the business so that people come and have a place to enjoy their community with a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's needed. After all the shutdowns and everything, we need people. Some people, you can see it on, like, they need a little bit of a push to get out there and get back to living.
Yeah.
People need it. It's a needed, and I've been saying this, breweries are right there. Third places. That's
Yep.
anywhere that serves great craft beer, like a Thistle Draft Shop or
Right.
Brew 30.
Yep.
Shout out to our close,
Yeah, our friends.
They're needed. People need to get back to
Exactly.
getting in front of people. And
We do something called the Small Business. We do a new glass release every year on Small Business Saturday that the
Yes.
breweries participate in, and Brew 30 was participating this year, and we have a different glass, different theme every year. This year was actually our theme was getting back out there.
yeah,
And get back out, go visit, go do the Texas things that you want to do in your
Yes.
community, and that includes having a beer.
yeah, and just take baby steps. There are people I've seen it, and I feel for these people. Like you get used to being at home doing Zoom calls, not wearing pants.
That's me.
I
That's
get
me.
it,
That's
right?
me. Yeah.
I mean, Donald Duck had it right. Pants overrated, but we're social creatures. We need to
Yes.
we need to share a beer with friends, and
And everybody that's been on a Zoom call with me, I am wearing pants in those Zoom calls. Don't take, yeah. But I get it. Yes. Not everybody.
pants.
Uh-huh.
He's got pants.
Yes.
Exactly. They're virtual pants. You can just
They're usually shorts, but yeah.
But you can.
Yeah. They're
it's
pants.
fine. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like I'm wearing flip flops, but nobody knew that until I just said that.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't do that at work, unless this is your work. Which
Right.
kind of,
Yeah.
I guess it is. But anyway, yeah. So it's needed. So Charles, keep it up.
Thanks.
You've done Texas proud.
I appreciate it.
Do you want to talk about April at all?
Sure. I've been in the job close to 10 years, and I had a lot of goals and hopes when I first joined the industry, and we have accomplished many of those. There's always more to do. There's a tremendous amount more to do, but there's also another generation of very talented, energetic people that are ready to take this the next step, and I want to encourage and enable that group of people. So as of April, the last day of April will be my last day with the guild, and I will retire after that. I'm not going away. I'll still be around. I imagine I'll be helping out wherever I can, but I will not be in charge.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing.
Just when you said that.
Yeah. But, I am going to spend a little time between Texas and Colorado. I used to do a lot of work in Colorado, and they have good beer in both states, and I'm going to split a little time between the two. And I intentionally do not have specific plans.
Cool.
But I know they will come, and I will evaluate them as they do.
Yes. Well, thank you for all you've done for Texas craft beer.
It's been my pleasure, my honor to do it. Yeah.
It's been awesome. And like I was just talking to my wife about it. I was kind of saying, she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I was just thinking about how far it's come." I've been doing InterBrews for about 10 years.
Yep.
And we had 5 breweries in Houston.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, a big part of that's attributable to the guild and all the efforts for legislation change and awareness and all of that. Because we went to her work party last night. I'm like, I don't have to worry about going to places now and there not being a good craft beer selection, at least 2 or 3. That used to be like, are you going to have one that's not macro?
Right.
And that
at
was
least the larger local, right?
It might just be like a Sam Adams or something back then. It's like, even if it's that, okay, at least there's that.
Right.
Now it's like everybody has, not everybody, but everywhere I go.
Yeah.
There's a great
good
selection.
selection.
And so, and last night was no exception. It was like, I don't have to, that's not a worry. I don't have that worry anymore.
Yeah.
It used to be like a legit thing. Like, where are we going? I'd have to look at the beer list.
Yep. Not long before I took this job, I was traveling for work, and I was up in the Fort Collins, Loveland area, and I went to a brewery, a small little brewery, not too far from the hotel, and walked in, and it was a small little warehouse space, and not that we didn't have tours. You go to a brewery in Texas at the time, and all you could do was the tour. Maybe they were open for a few hours on Saturday, and maybe you got a few samples. And I went here, and it was basically just, come here, have a beer in this small warehouse where you see all the equipment, and you see their fridge with their all their slim kegs in it, and it's like, this couldn't happen in Texas. This is all about the taproom experience, which is not much of experience, but it's, cool. I'm going to go here and get this very, interesting selection of beers that they just make there just for the taproom.
Yeah.
It just was unheard of in Texas at the time. And I've always thought, we just need to make it easier. Well, we can do that now. I mean, it was kind of legal back then, but there were so many limitations to it.
Yeah.
We definitely have breweries that fit that model today.
Yeah.
Of just, a small tap room experience, and they can make that work.
Yeah.
That just makes me
you did
happy.
Yes, you did a lot of fish hook like it was just a ball of fish hooks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys have done a lot of
unknotting. Yeah.
Yes. And
the Beer to Go got a lot of visibility. Tap rooms in the 2013 and the brew pub improvements in 2013, a lot of visibility. I do want to give a shout out to some of the behind the scenes work that was done in 2019, along with Beer to Go in the what's called the sunset legislation. Every agency gets reviewed every 12 years in the state, and they're trying to make administrative improvements. That led to some changes that have been being implemented since 2019, and some of them just got implemented. The last set got implemented in September of this year, but they're just removing the headache.
Yeah.
We finally have the elimination of beer versus ale in the state of Texas,
Right.
and that's it seems like a small thing, but it has big implications down the road.
Yeah. That one right there that's kind of it. Well, you're not retired yet.
No.
I know you got work to do.
I do.
So
Yeah.
Charles, thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, check out the Texas Craft Brewers Cup. Texas, right? Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Yes, Texas
Yep.
Craft Brewers Cup.
Yep.
If you don't own a brewery, still you can pay attention.
Yeah.
Maybe go to the in February.
Come volunteer. Come help us out. With the
Volunteer.
judging. Yeah.
That's it. Volunteer, everybody.
Yeah.
We need volunteers.
We do, and we have beer for you.
Yes, and start doing your homework now so you can say, you know what, this beer was a good beer, and you can stick your pinky out, and do like this. I don't know why you have to do it like this, but anyway.
Why not?
Why not? All right. So for Charles, I'm Josh. Everybody, thanks for listening and watching. This is InterBrews.
Thanks.
This is InterBrews.
The preceding has been a presentation of Stewed Productions.